Welcome to the Investor Agent Synergy Podcast, where real estate investors and agents come together to build partnerships, create value, and achieve more together. Whether you're an agent looking to unlock new opportunities or an investor seeking the right partnerships, this is the place to learn, grow, and connect. This podcast is proudly sponsored by New Hampshire Homebuyers, a trusted leader in local house buying since 2017. With over 100 glowing reviews and a commitment to being local, fair, and trusted, New Hampshire Homebuyers helps homeowners throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts sell their homes in any condition. Now, let's dive into the podcast.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Here we are.
Nice.
Well, welcome to episode 4. Welcome to episode 5 of the Investor Agent Synergy Podcast. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Clara from Co-Living Cash Flow.
Yes.
Clara from tongue twister. Clara from Co-Living Cash Flow.
Hey.
Right. Hi.
Told you I'd have a lot of time with everything. So we're excited to have you here. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions. We're going to hammer you down with a bunch of stuff. Just so you guys know, she's a Metallica super fan. We were talking offline before she got going. We definitely have that in common. Her and I are both metalheads.
That's
although
right.
She has seen Metallica way more than I have. A little jealous over here.
But it turns out we're going to be at the same show soon.
We're going to
so
be at
this
Syracuse
is a
in April.
match made.
Yes.
All right.
So, all right. Go ahead, Sheila.
Yeah,
Let's
so we're
ask
just
some
going to
questions.
ask you some questions. I'm going to start out with the basics. So what market do you focus on, and what are some unique challenges or opportunities in your market?
Hi. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I'm going to start saying something that many people are not going to like, and is that, in my opinion, many agents are like commodities. You exchange one cup of coffee for another one. But only agents that know their certain niche really, really well will sustain a business for a long time.
Okay, that's great
So
advice.
respectfully to many other agents
sure.
that have something different. My specialty is an asset class called co-living or shared housing. I focus and I have worked with investors for over 10 years, mostly in Massachusetts, but now I'm and advise people and other investors in other states. But transaction-wise, I do Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and starting this week, also New Hampshire.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Bringing
Love
it to the
that.
grand estate.
No kidding.
Clara, what is co-living? Can you explain it to us for the people like myself who maybe not know what it is?
Oh, very easy. So you're going to remember co-living is the 3 C's. C, Clara, right? Okay. So co-living is shared housing for cost, for community, right? And for convenience.
Okay.
Why cost? Because housing, in countries is more expensive than the market bears, than the salary bears, than the student loan bears. Yeah. So when you share a place, you also share the cost. What is the community part? The community part is that you're not alone. We also have a loneliness epidemic. Like the loneliness and the individualism is killing us.
Sure.
When you have 2, 3 friends, 4 friends that, hey, let's create a little community. We share all resources. You are not alone again. And many people move to a new city. Let's say, hey, I moved to Boston. I'm going to go an internship in an hospital, and I don't know anybody. When you enter a co-living house, you have 3 new friends right there.
Right.
And if you have as an investor, you have the right systems in place, they really become long-sustaining friendships. So that's the community.
I love that. I actually wouldn't have even thought of that as one of the components, but that's so
it's
true.
So important.
Absolutely.
And also the convenience. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay. Many of the co-livings are already furnished, right? And all utilities are included. So you don't have to buy furniture as a new resident. You have to, order furniture, plug in utilities. It's all in one bill. Mm-hmm. So once you pay your portion of the rent, that covers all utility, all the rent, utility rent and furniture, and sometimes also cleaning.
Right.
You organize your finances better as a resident of a co-living community. So there you have the 3 C's: cost, community, and convenience.
I love it.
Right?
Co-living
It
with the
almost
3
feels
Cs.
like a natural progression too for like a lot of college students. When you graduate from college, like you said, you continue on almost as you did in the dorms, right? Like, because you have that connection to the people around you. You have the furniture, like you said, the utilities are kind of all included. I feel like it's a nice transition from maybe college level university into adulthood. I'm just thinking because we have like 5 kids that are going to be graduating from college, and I think that'd be really awesome for them, especially where some of them want to move to like a new city after they graduate.
Yeah.
What a cool thing.
And how for them, a way for them to physically afford or financially afford
Exactly.
living in the city, which can be really expensive.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's interesting.
But that doesn't. That does not imply that they don't have responsibilities. Okay,
Sure.
like they have accountability. Everybody in the community, you also have part of we have to keep the house clean, the kitchen clean after yourself. It's not, and there are many misconceptions about this one. It's like, it's not a frat house, it's not a party house, not at all, because in order for it together, you need communication as well. And clean after user in the kitchen, clean after user in the bathroom. This is your space in the fridge. Let's keep things organized so we are a collective that thrives.
Yeah.
So it's important that make that distinction. But yes,
Sure. Yeah.
it's not only good for people that just get out of college, but also young people in transition from one job to another. I just got a job 6 months, or this internship, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this job is right for me or not, but I want to explore it. But I don't want to commit to a 12-month lease in a place that I don't know if I'm going to stay.
Sure.
And the market tells you if it's not a 12-month lease, then you really are limited in your options.
Right.
As a young person, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
So I have
It's
one more
great.
question on
Yeah.
that. Are the leases, like, are they typically short term, 6 months, or are they month to month, or how does that usually work, or is it all different?
It is all different, depends on the operator or the co-living owner.
Okay.
There are some companies that do as little as 30 days, but that a handful of them.
Yep.
But and people pay a premium for that short period of time that is not short-term rental. That is a super clear distinction. Is the average co-living stay is about 8 months.
Okay.
And many of the companies that are my clients, they started for 3 to 4 months per lease. So like, I've got an internship, again, with the interns for the whole summer. I need a place to stay for the whole summer. It's not an Airbnb. It's not a short-term rental, but it's not a whole 12 months first last security. So all that mid-market is not well taken care of anyway.
Sure.
And that's where co-living enters and fills that gap that continues to grow.
And with co-living, as you said, you probably have people staying, people going, so you never really have one particular apartment vacant at one time. You may have one bedroom or maybe 2 bedrooms, but you got the other bedrooms kind of still bringing in some revenue. And because you have some people staying and some people going, you don't necessarily need to do a whole turnover like you would if you're renting an apartment, right? And the tenant leaves after a year or 2. You have to go in there, you gotta, freshen up the paint and do all this stuff. But here, you don't have to do any of that.
No, wouldn't you believe that there is even less wear and tear? Because you just put furniture once.
Yeah.
That's it. And people that come, they come with the 2 suitcases. And that's pretty much it. And if you offer also, cleaning in your property once a month or something like that, you keep an eye on the property.
Right.
Nothing really is ever broken. Like, it's very rare, actually. So, unless you don't know how to use a garbage disposal or things like that. Other than that, it's actually quite good care of the units. What I would say is that to finish the part that we discussed before, I have clients also that have, one has like 10 units, I think Everett. All his leases are only 12-month leases. He offers leases as affordable as $1,000 or $1,200, all inclusive with everything. Wow. He has clients there that have been 1, 2, 3 years, but they are the 12-month lease. They already have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And, space to park, they love it because they know how much is the rent and then they can pay it so they can save money, pay debts, credit cards. Yeah. So it all depends on you as an owner, as an investor. How do you want to run your co-living property?
Yeah.
Love it. Great.
As investors, this is super intriguing. So we're going to have tons of more questions after even. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit. And I wanted to ask you what first got you to even get started in real estate, and then what's been your biggest learning experience in real estate?
Curiosity.
What?
Like literally curiosity. What got me started was curiosity. I'm always been like an avid learner, I guess, or like I like to explore new things. I moved here for grad school to study, and I remember it was when Uber and Lyft were opening up back in the day.
Yeah,
that sounds so old, right?
I know that movie.
And It's like, oh, wow, in your phone you can order a car, let's give it a try.
Right.
And, at the same time, Airbnb was kind of beginning. Hey, what happened if we try, put Airbnb in our house with my roommates in the middle of Cambridge? How does that look like?
Yeah.
And
cool.
we have a space in the living room, and we put 2 twin mattresses, one on top of the other, no base, like not even a frame.
Right.
And we have like one of those Japanese enclosings. And because we were walking distance to MIT, we put an Airbnb. We made $10,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
With a freaking space.
That is an amazing way to
Especially
get
at that
into
young
real
age,
estate.
So
You're
I
like,
can help you
okay.
understand market
Yeah.
demand,
Right.
prices, what the sector needs,
Yeah.
what people come here from. Like, it opened my eyes to
Yeah.
the insane demand for affordable housing.
I mean, right away, you're like, okay, there's a market for this,
There's
what
a-
we're doing
yeah,
here,
yeah, like-
and how do I do more?
So that's the curiosity of how
Yeah,
technology,
so
and especially
cool.
how technology helps increase not only supply, but how technology helps solve so many problems, right? How you can just do one lease with, submit your documentation, sign here, pay here, instead of all the many ways that real estate has not been updated enough to go on track with what technology is offering. So that's how I got started.
It
Amazing.
always goes all the way back to just solving a problem.
Always.
What we
what
do,
we do in real
all
estate.
real estate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. What's been your most rewarding deal or moment in your career so far?
Oh, wow.
That's a big one.
I think so many. A very big rewarding moment is when I presented my company, placed me my first co-living company in a room in front of 500 investors, and I was in a competition of like 6 other companies,
Wow.
and I was the most applauded one. So that I felt really good, feeling not only
It's a great
solving that problem,
Yeah.
but having investors paying attention
Yeah.
to what we're doing and being able to show that a company like this can grow significantly. Granted, that was way before even Passplay was beginning, way back in the day. So you can solve a problem, feel good about it,
Yeah.
and also not be incompatible with profits.
Right.
Right. Wow.
So when did you first start working with investors, and what draw you to that?
I didn't even know they were investors to begin with.
Yeah.
I think it was around 2016 with my first company, PlaceMe, was the first co-living company, one of the baby co-living companies in Cambridge, by the way. My business partner said, hey, how about we lease, a couple of apartments, put furniture, and, lease by the room and see how that looks like.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sure, let's give it a try. By then I already knew how to talk to property managers and how to talk to, and how to find the people because of my previous experience in Airbnb.
Right.
So first I spoke to one property manager who happens to be, I didn't know, his uncle has like 60 apartments in Cambridge. It's like,
Oh, wow.
I don't care as long as you pay the rent. Like, sure thing. So
Yeah.
we opened only 7, we only opened 7 rooms in one January, like as snowy as this was. And in 2 weeks, all the rooms were completely filled.
Oh.
In 2 weeks in January, it's
Wow.
like, what? Okay, we're on to something.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, so we started using more and creating more and growing more. And the owner of the first apartment, I didn't know, he had 100 units in Cambridge.
Wow.
So, okay, I like what you're doing. I need advice.
I like what he's doing.
I know, me too.
And same thing with the other one. So, like, without even knowing, hey, I want to do more. How do we grow? It's like, okay, and they start opening more avenues. I like you're doing managing things well. So it's like give or take. You show that you're doing well, they open more doors and more doors. So I didn't know they were investors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So, but you also work as an agent, right?
Yes.
And who do you hang your license with?
I have my license with EXP.
And how do you like working with EXP?
I love it.
Okay.
Why? It gives me room to grow any way I want. So being in a global brokerage, co-living is global.
Yeah.
If you go for one moment and we stop here and you open coliving.com, you're gonna see that it's co-living in the whole world, and the United States is the baby compared to how big they are in Europe, how big they are in even Africa, Asia.
Shows you the opportunity ahead.
Yeah, like we are so far behind.
Yeah. Wow.
People don't believe
Yeah.
how far behind we are. One of the best leaders, Europe, the UK, London, they had buildings with 700 units of co-living, all micro studios. So that to begin with. So co-living is very big. So that's what I like EXP, because it allows me to connect. And if I have a client, hey, I want to buy a building in Europe, or I want to buy a building somewhere else, I can connect with any of my partners and work something out where I can serve clients worldwide, unlike any other agent.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So EXP is not just national, but it's international.
It's global, correct. Global. They have agencies, Asia, Europe, from Hawaii to Spain. They have a conference in Spain, Canada, Latin America. So, yeah.
Well, I can see why it would coincide great with, your co-living endeavors here and your goals. But with your license, do you do any traditional retail at all? Do you sell houses? Do you work as a buyer agent at all, or anything like that?
I do.
Okay.
But again, not a regular sell your house with me, but I analyze properties with my clients. And we look at the numbers, especially multifamilies. And hey, this is an opportunity for an investment, either co-living or a long-term hold in multifamily. And I act as an investor agent, buying agent for my investors. Okay. I just closed, in fact, I think we have a walkthrough tomorrow. A two-family in Cambridge, off-market, 1.2 million. That it was actually a little underpriced. It can be 1.3. But because of the new zoning in Cambridge, that property can be 4 million in 5 years. So I try to identify really good opportunities for my investors.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, amazing. Great.
Yeah. So the answer is yes, I work.
Yeah. I just wanted to see how it worked as well as an agent. So have you ever partnered with investors during your career here with co-living?
I partnered with them, or I used to manage the $42 million in my company, or assets under management for them.
Which is an absurd, crazy amount of property under management. $42 million.
But if you were in Texas, yes. But in Massachusetts, is not as big as, 50 buildings, something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, back in the day. So now we're doing like a different program or different plan where we're just raising or like a tiny fund to do co-living on the Midwest and create more opportunity for co-living in the Midwest. And that's it's going to be run as a private fund.
Yeah. And I would think in the Midwest, just like everything else, so much affordable housing out there, the ability to grow in the Midwest must be crazy.
Well, and you know why is that? Because minimum wage are between $7 and $8 and $9.
Yeah,
and they don't see any time to go after that. Well, still, the average price of a house is $400,000.
Yeah.
So, not going anywhere.
Right.
Can you share maybe a deal that you did that kind of pushed you outside your comfort zone at some point?
The last one. Okay. This one in Cambridge. And again, goes back to what we were talking about on agents being a commodity. Some investors appreciate really, really what I do. And is something that I really have an assertive conversation with our broker is representation does not imply subordination. Meaning, if you're an agent, you're here to be a guide and advise. That doesn't mean I have to do everything that you ask me for, or be disrespected, or pushing boundaries in a way that is uncomfortable for you as human or as a professional. Right. And I feel sometimes many investors think an agents have something that just, are kind of on the way of your investment, but not the one who opened it, correct? You feel me? Yeah. Not the one who is opening the door for, thousands of millions of dollars in profits. And it's like when you go to a doctor, you thank your doctor. Yeah. But the way many investors treat your agent, I don't think is fine. So I have to put my foot down and say, look, representation does not mean subordination.
Right.
And I have to get the reassurance of my broker or the main office, you're correct. You don't have to drive at 11 p.m. to open a door because it's not necessary for the transaction to be successful.
Sure. Right. Okay.
So my boundaries as a professional, professional, come on. Yeah. So I'll leave it like that, but I think you understand what I mean.
And that, I think, comes from experience, right? Over so many transactions with so many people. Because I know for us as investors, when we first started out, we didn't know our value. So if we would get a certain amount of money, we felt like the people that we were working with, in our head, maybe they didn't think we deserved that much until we realized how much we had, all the late night texts and all the crazy extra trips to houses
All
to
the
bring
behind the scenes
kerosene
work.
and all this crazy stuff.
Correct.
You know, there's a lot of value to bringing a deal and getting it to closing and
Yeah.
all the things we had to do. So I feel like once we were more secure in that, with experience,
Yeah.
we were fine with kind of like setting those boundaries. Like, listen,
Yeah.
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 So it
It's
makes
super.
sense.
Yeah. No, it's super clear, and you really need to know yourself.
Yeah.
And what are you giving to buyers or investor buyers at the time? And I am starting to think that, especially for what I do, either okay, you want to work with me, fantastic, but either I'm gonna I'm thinking of putting maybe like a retainer, or like, okay, if you're going to commit, let's commit to invest your funds in next period of time, in a way that you will work with any other professional,
Right.
either a lawyer, either a doctor, an
Right.
engineer.
There's
same
no kick
way.
in the tire here. You're either in
Oh.
or you're out.
Or they know, my wife didn't like the color of the room, so
Yeah.
we're gonna go to California. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that
You
doesn't
know-
work. You can paint it.
like the way
Makes
many
sense.
investors change their mind in things that are like completely serious, like mind-boggling to me.
So you have come. You weren't born in America, right? You were born in
South America,
South America, right? What part of South America?
Colombia.
So you're a native to
Shakira.
Colombia. You came here to get your master's.
Yeah,
Right.
in business administration, correct.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you.
And you stayed here since, and now you have basically built a career out of real estate, right?
Yeah, more importantly, more focused in co-living than real estate in general. Yeah.
Now, I think everybody listening understands you have a thick accent, thicker than my Boston accent. And, and if you speak too fast, I'm like, wait, what did she say? So was it challenging for you as a female from Colombia in America to overcome obstacles that many of us maybe don't have to overcome to be successful in your niche in real estate?
Like, you have no idea.
Share it with us, please.
Yeah, please.
It is interesting when you put it like that. And I'm going to go back to my same company and the competition with other companies.
Yeah.
No one looked like me in my other groups, and many of them, I have a proven business model that was making money, correct? And many of my friends neither business model correct or not making money. Mm-hmm. They got checks bigger than mine, or where I have to do 20 minutes to get 20 meetings and phone calls to get one check. In 3-4 meetings, they get one check with no proof.
Yeah, so you're working
Wow.
4 times as hard to receive the same
Unfortunately,
results.
yes, and it's still a thing.
Yeah.
And now less than before, because what I notice is investors, when you make mistakes or when you proven that you stay there for longer, they come back. Okay, I made a
Yeah.
mistake before. Okay, where are you now?
Yeah.
So now I have at some point, the luxury to say, you believe in me when it was important and you didn't, so I'm not going to take your money, but I'll take yours. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
And who you align with, as you show, as you say, as we discuss, your value.
Right.
So raising money is always been a challenge for people that look like me. And when you look at the numbers in venture capital, only 2% of the all venture capital or any capital goes to companies that are owned by minorities or female
Sure.
minority.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's correct.
So, I mean, that's a lot to overcome, but it didn't prevent you from persevering
Yeah, no kidding.
and achieving your success. So that leads me to the next question. What is a habit or mindset shift that has helped you grow in your real estate career?
You mean besides a whole pot of coffee in the morning?
Yes.
That sounds
We
good.
all need that.
Yes.
I think many is like, number one, knowing yourself, right? And that fear, and I love this phrase, fear is the future expectation of unknown results.
Right.
So many times you don't do things, I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm not going to do it. So when I don't think about what the fear is stopping me for doing what I go through in any way, I just go and do. And I don't think about what is stopping me. Just fear doesn't exist. It's expectation that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So just like go and do.
do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That
because
reminds me of you. He
Yeah.
always says fail forward. Like we're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
going to keep going. And if we fail, we're just
Massive
going to get through
imperfection.
it.
5-5.
I was like, you guys are on the same
forward.
page.
Yeah.
There is no other way.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
And you eventually find your people, your tribe.
Yeah. I
Now
like
I'm
that.
thankfully connected with real estate agents and investors from Colorado to Denver to South Carolina, and they're like, we are like, the best at co-living, and we're doing like a lot of very interesting things.
Yeah.
But it takes time to find that confidence.
Sure.
within
sure.
you.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
time and experience, right, gets that confidence, and the only way to build that confidence is actually by doing stuff, not everything you learn.
Yeah.
And fear probably kills more dreams than anything, right? It's just this is what analysis paralysis is, a term very familiar in the real estate world. It's just the fear of failing. Right, and so you try to make everything perfect, but as you know, it's never perfect.
No deal is ever perfect.
It's future expectation of awful results.
Yeah, yeah,
But you cannot control it, so might as well do it.
yeah. I love
Yep.
that.
Me
All right,
too.
so Clara, what is next for you in your real estate, and how do you see investors playing a role in your growth?
Investors are my bread and butter, so
All right.
the more you have, send it my way. Two things I see: more need and more education for agents in how to actually work with investors are going to keep more real estate agents in the business.
Agreed.
In the moment that AI is entering right now, I already know like 3 companies that are trying to do AI transactions without agents.
Jeez.
So agents, learn how to be worth it. That AI is not going to take your job.
Yeah,
Number
like it's
one.
going to take other jobs. That's a great point.
Yeah.
So you
That
really,
is
So
Good
I'm
point.
building a business and training our agents
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
how to, they're not going to, AI is not going to go on clock toilets. They're
Right.
not going to have a directory of contractors and property and managers when you are the right hand of every investor that works with you.
Right.
AI is not going to do that, but you are. So how do you build that for your agents?
so you need
Correct.
to start building some different
Smart.
skills, some different
yeah.
networks, and building redundancy.
Redundancy in how you really own your area and you zip code and when you work with your investors. So number one, and then my investors will continue to believe in co-living and believe that they can invest in something that is not only good for them. Number one, because it pretty much doubles any rent when you do.
Sure. The cool
But it's also something good for humanity. So,
Right.
hey, they can go in your boat, in your trip to Africa, where at the same time the properties continue to do fantastic numbers for them.
Yeah.
And that's how we say we build a life for freedom. Different
No kidding.
podcast, but that's
Yeah.
how we build a life
Exactly.
for freedom. So
We can go see Metallica again.
Yeah, which she is going all over the country seeing Metallica
Oops.
because you tour
Yeah.
a whole bunch of concerts, all while her co-living pays for this lifestyle for you. So,
Pretty much.
So it's great. So if agents want to learn how to connect with you because they're fascinated by co-living and they too want to travel and see bands and be on a ship and don't want to be replaced by AI, what is the best way for them to connect with you? Because they can pay you to learn how to get into the co-living space, correct?
Correct.
All
Happy
right.
to.
So how is the best way for them to reach you?
Just go to my website, colivingcashflow.com.
colivingcashflow.com. We're going to have this here right
Yeah.
in
Click in contact,
Yep.
and then I have all sorts of options.
the... Okay,
Amazing.
love it. I love
I'm
it.
excited about co-living, so
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone else is going to be too after this.
Thank you,
For
appreciate
sure.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
Clara, thank you. There was a lot of great information today. So happy to have you as a guest today. Thank you for
Thank you.
participating. That's it for this week, guys. A lot of great information. Connect with Clara. She's the bomb. She's everything co-living that you need to do. And if you want to go see Metallica as well, this is a girl to connect with. She'll go on the concerts with you. We'll see you next week on next week's episode. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Investor Agent Synergy Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share with others who could benefit from stronger partnerships in real estate. And a big thank you to our awesome sponsor, New Hampshire Home Buyers, helping homeowners with fair professional solutions since 2017. For more information about New Hampshire Home Buyers, how they can help you or someone you know, please go visit nhomebuyers.net. Until next time, remember, success in real estate is better together. See you on the next episode of Investor Agent Synergy Podcast.